Once upon a time, there was a young basketball player who had dreams of becoming one of the greatest basketball players of all time. 17 years old, with the hunger, the motivation, and the desire to be the best possible basketball player that I could be.
If I got to fight to get you in the gym, that's a problem. That's a problem. You want players that are gym rats, players that want to be in the gym, that want to work. And then from there, you build on top of that. But if you're lazy, man, I don't want to talk to you. I won't deal with you. You're going to make me feel dumber. You know, you're going to lower my level. I don't think so. You can go over there.
This guy is the best. How does that make you feel? I know you're kind of chuckling now because we can joke about it, but you're the best player in the nation for anybody in high school.
It feels good. It's great confidence, but you have to keep moving on. Because I know a lot of guys who've been #1 in the past years, and it just fell off a cliff. Mm-hmm. So I have to keep working hard, and hopefully everything will work out. I'll be #1 in the future. So I'm going to continue to work hard, and we as a team are going to continue to work hard as an organization the same way. We continue to push and push until we get back to that top.
You start with what do you want your game to be? What would make your game most unstoppable or hard to deal with? And now you work backwards from there. And you start building it one piece at a time, one move at a time, one counter at a time. So there's a lot.
We flew back to LA that night, and I got home, it's probably like 3 in the morning. And I went down to the high school, which is down the street from our house. And the janitor let me in the gym, and I shot all day. All day. I mean, all day. And this was right after that playoff game. And I didn't leave the gym. I just kept shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting and practicing and practicing. And I got a chance to let out the steam of disappointing my teammates and millions of fans. I got a chance to let all that out instead of bottling it up and envision that moment over and over and over and over and over. That was a huge summer for me because I felt like everybody had written me off after those air balls. And I was really excited when the schedule came out and I saw we had Utah.
Kobe, I read a couple days ago where you wanted to slow down the pace of your workout routine. Is that because you're in hopes of possibly getting some preseason games in, or you want to be healthy for the season opener?
Well, I just try to listen to my body, just kind of listen to it. We have a great staff here, and we just work hand in hand and just listen to how my body feels and just try to respond accordingly.
We used to have an All-American camp that I used to go to, and at the time when I first showed up, I was a sophomore. And one of the things I would do is while everybody would be at the cafeteria, eating and doing all sort of stuff, I'd just go back to the gym. I just go back to the gym.
They'd be resting, eating.
And they'd see me leave, right? But now you're in a tough position because you're like, okay, I want to be like I'm following the kid to go work out, but I know he's working, he's up early, and he's doing all this other stuff. And so that was my way of showing them. Yeah, I may be from the suburbs, but you're not going to outwork me.
Wow.
And I'm mentally going to.
Did someone teach you that?
We really seem to, have bonded and understand that, if we want to get to that elite level, we really have to put in the work day in and day out.
With that, but I've worked extremely hard this summer to be able to play at a high level, regardless of the minute, right? If it's 30, if it's 48, I'm prepared to do whatever's necessary, and that's my job to do so.
My parents were great. Growing up, they instilled in me the importance of imagination, of curiosity, and understanding that, okay, if you want to accomplish something, I'm not just going to sit here and say, yes, you can do whatever you want. Yes, you can, but you have to also put in the work to get there, right? So they taught me that at a really early age, man. And when you grow up as a kid thinking that the world is your oyster and all things are possible if you put in the work to do it, you grow up having that fundamental belief.
One of your high school friends said, when I was partying, he was playing basketball. When I was waking up, Kobe was playing basketball before class. How would you describe your dedication to the sport even back then?
Well, I tried to find a balance, right? I tried to do both. I had a great deal of energy. So if there was a school party going on or something like that, I'd play basketball for a few hours. I'd do what I have to do and have fun doing it, and then I'd go to the party. And I'd show up and I'd have a good time, have fun, and I'd be up at 5 o'clock in the morning you know, working out, and you know, training the next day. So I try to do both.
40-point games, 60-point games in 3 quarters. So talk about what led up to the big monster 81-point game.
Well, it was, you know, 1,000 makes a day in the summertime, you know, and going through things, you know, just as I would during the game. So, you know, I knew exactly where my positions were within the triangle and where the shots would be coming from. So everything that I did throughout the course of my training was literally simulating that. So it was all game shots. So when it came in the game, things were just automatic because I'd put my body through it before. You know, sometimes you get in the gym and you work out and you work on ball handling, you work on shooting, but none of it's really within a structure of what you will be doing in the game. For me, it wasn't like that. It was literally carbon copy of what I'd be doing. So by the time the season came around, it was all just muscle memory. I understand in the sense that the confidence comes from preparation. You know, so when the game's on the line, I'm not asking myself to do something that I haven't done thousands of times before, right? So when I prepare, I know what I'm capable of doing, I know what I'm comfortable doing, and I know what I'm not comfortable doing. Right? And so in those moments, if it looks like I'm ice cold or not nervous, it's because I've done it thousands of times before. So what's one more time? Right?
So that leads me to talk about a lot of this Kobe tour this year in Asia is we reiterate the Mamba mentality. You know, can you talk a little bit about what the Mamba mentality is? Because that's something that's been developing over, I don't want to say 20 years, it's been developing for 35 years, right? Since you were a little kid, that Mamba mentality, because you didn't start working when you got to the NBA. You started working when you were at Lower Merion, when you were in Italy, when you were 5, when you were playing Nerf basketball, right? So talk about the development of the Mamba mentality, the pillars, the 5 pillars of this Mamba mentality, and then we'll kind of break it down.
Well, I mean, overall, you know, the idea is a very simple one, and you know, the Mamba mentality simply means trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. It means every day, you know, you're trying to become better. And it's a constant quest. It's an infinite quest. So starting at the age of 2, when I first started playing the game, and on and on and on, I always ask questions. I always try to get better every single day, learn more, learn more.
You were asking questions at 2?
Oh, dude, I was asking questions all the time. I mean, you'd be surprised. Like some people, like my kids at 2 could do a lot of things. Right? At 2, I could dribble a basketball. I could shoot a basketball on the Nerf hoop at the house, and I would go to practice with my father. I would observe my father. I'd sit and watch games with him. And
was he your first coach?
Yeah, man, I guess you could say that. You know, a lot of things I learned by being around the game. Right? So by the age of 6, I was already strategizing versus other 6-year-olds. You know, at the age of 6, I figured out 6-year-olds couldn't dribble with their left hand. And so I said, okay.
A lot of 12-year-olds can't dribble with their left.
Well, yeah, well, imagine 6. So like when I was playing these 6-year-old kids, I would make them dribble with their left because I knew they couldn't. And so they dribble off their foot, I'd pick it up, lay it up. Do it again, dribble off foot, pick it up, lay it up. So at 6 years old, I had 63 points. And and I remember my dad.
So your 6-year-old self could beat your 38-year-old self because you only scored 60 in the last game.
Yeah, no, but I can dribble with my left though, so that's a problem. But yeah, I mean, listen, I just constantly looked for things to learn from, and you know, very observant.
When you talk about this love, when does it develop? Did you like it when you were 5, or is this something that kind of gradually?
It was 2. I was born, and I was born to play basketball. You know what I mean? And I played a lot of different sports, but nothing brought me the sense of peace and of escape, you know, that the game of basketball did.
Is it an escape when you get on the court? Is that your zen time, your solitude time?
Yeah.
Even though it's a teamwork game?
Yeah, when I need that escape, it's there for me, right? When I need a friend, it's there for me. You know, when I need to vent, and don't dunk, and
the Mamba comes out.
It's there, you know. So the game is absolutely everything for me.
When we talk about trying to get kids to be passionate, I don't think your situation is the norm. Not every kid knows their passion at 2 or 5, right? How do kids find that passion then?
Well,
right?
I think as
because
parents, we just try to...
you embraced it right away too.
I mean, I think as parents, we try to put them in different things, try to expose them to as many things as possible, and then see if there's one thing that connects with them. You know, because if it does, you don't have to tell them to do it. You know, whether it's writing or painting or drawing. You know, if they have that passion, you don't have to tell them. They'll go off and do it because it's just fun. They'd rather do that than anything else. So, but as parents, it's our job to just expose them to as many things as possible and see which one they gravitate to the most.
It's interesting because you talk about kids, right? Originally we were talking about you. Now you're talking about your kids and their passions. Do you kind of feel that passion for them and say, hey, let's go play some basketball or volleyball or let's go swimming?
Yeah, we expose them to all kinds of. I mean, they play a lot of different sports. They do a lot of things creatively, in writing and things like that, and designing, and you just sit back and you just watch which one they move to, and then it's our responsibility as parents to try to set them up for success as much as we possibly can.
Do you want them to play basketball?
I want them to find whatever it is that they're passionate about, like whatever they feel like their purpose is. Then that's what I want them to do.
Do they love basketball though? Your girls?
So my youngest one. She does. She wants to play, and she wants me to teach her how to play this summer. And our eldest is really into volleyball. So but we'll see. Our passions tend to change.
So you're gonna get into volleyball now?
Well, yeah. I mean, my sister was a great volleyball player, so we have a teacher in the family.
Is there one moment where you can say it defined your passion for basketball? Is there a story or moment when you said, "Damn, that was it. That was like when I felt really passionate"?
No, it doesn't. It never leaves. It never leaves. Like the game is just a part of me. So it never leaves. Even now that I'm retired, everything that I've learned from the game of basketball, I've carried it over into life. Like basketball's helped me be a better person, a better friend, a better father.
So?
Well, because there's life lessons that are within the game, like communication, like unselfishness, like attention to detail, and empathy and compassion. Like all those things are in the game. And as an athlete, if we are aware of those things, it helps us become better human beings.
And you can apply that toward your post basketball days, your retirement, into your business world, your future ventures.
Sure. I mean, you can apply. I was applying that even while I was playing, just in life outside of the game, and even more so now. In building a business and all these things. The kind of culture you want to have. All those things are directly learned from the game of basketball for me.
Next up is the next pillar: be obsessive. Obsessive. That's I think a lot of people equate that with you. Kobe is obsessive in a lot of things. Yeah. We've been doing this for 8 years now, Asia tour. I've been with you for a long way. The one moment that stands out of we've done, I don't know how many done. We've done 800 events. The one time was 4 a.m. We went out to practice at 4 a.m. And that was your idea to do it. But then all these Nike people are like, no, let's not do that. And then you're like, let's do it at 4 a.m. So you got security, you got brand marketing, sports marketing going, no, let's not do it. You're like, let's do it. Because that's your obsessiveness, right?
I mean, to me, it just makes complete sense.
Not to us.
But I don't, okay, so.
See, all right. Usually, I'm sleeping at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
You're working out. So talk about that.
Okay, so if your job is to try to be the best basketball player you can be, right? To do that, you have to practice, you have to train, right? You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. So if you get up at 10 in the morning, train at 11, right? 12, say 12, train at 12, train for 2 hours, 12 to 2. You have to let your body recover. So you eat, recover, whatever. You get back out, you train, start training again at 6. Train from 6 to 8, right? And now you go home, you shower, you eat dinner, you go to bed, you wake up, you do it again, right? Those are 2 sessions. Right? Now imagine you wake up at 3, you train at 4. You go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, right? You relax, and now all of a sudden you're back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4, right? And so now you do that, and as the years go on, the separation that you have with your competitors and your peers just grows larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. And by year 5 or 6, doesn't matter what kind of work they do in the summer, they're never going to catch up because they're 5 years behind. Right? So it makes sense to get up and start your day early because you can get more work in.
Is that genetic? Or is that something you ingrained and trained yourself?
No, it was
Who
just,
taught you that?
For me, it was just common sense. Like I can if I start earlier, I can train more hours, and I know the other guys aren't doing it because I know what their training schedule is, right? So I know if I do this consistently over time, the gap's just going to widen and widen and widen and widen and widen, and they won't be able to get that back. So to me, it was just common sense. I'm like thinking, how can I get an advantage? Oh, start earlier. Yeah, let's do that.
When did you start doing that?
Man, like high school. High school. My first class in high school was 7:45. I used to get to the gym around 5 a.m. and I'd play before school. And then school would start.
Who's playing with you at 5 a.m.?
My coach. So my coach would show up and we'd do all these basketball drills. Right?
So just you and your coach?
Just me and my coach. And sometimes it would just be me and the janitor, and who's still there today. And then I play at lunchtime.
That guy should get a medal.
I hooked him up with a few things. But I play during lunch and then practice after, and then go home, do my schoolwork, and then watch a bunch of game film and games on TV and study film.
Was that the only